Hi friends, today I have something different for you rather than this normal YouTube Ableton tutorial. I will share with you my reflections, my observations that I've gained from over 6 years of teaching other people music production and running 2 music production communities where I teach almost 80 people and where my students have finished almost 650 tracks. So with this time I have seen patterns, I have seen behaviors that for some they make music career, they finish track and they release their music, and for some it's like they're dropping out, they don't progress with their careers. So this video will be about 10 music production lessons that will make you a better producer, more prolific producer that progresses. Alright, so without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so my first lesson is about priorities. So a lot of people say to me, Michał, I don't have time to make music. And whenever I hear that someone doesn't have time to make music, I always hear that he or she has not given this topic, this area of her life or his life, a priority. And this might come to many reasons, like maybe you need to take care of your finances, maybe you need to take care of your family, maybe you have a job or career, you are really progressing. So in this instance, I would understand, but for many people, it's about being young, being fairly still loose of time, like they have free time, but still like partying a lot, still playing video games, watching TV series and so on. So whenever I hear this, it all comes down to priorities. And in my understanding and in my observation, life is a game with the sum of 0. So if you want to introduce something new to your life, if you want to make priority and room for something, you need to extract something, because all of your today's actions are giving you the sum of 0. So giving this priority many times comes to making a decision, financial decision. So with my communities, when people join my communities, they subscribe to a monthly fee. So they pay monthly fee for being in a community, and with that monthly fee, there comes the energy. Yeah, money is the energy. So I'm giving the energy to be into the program, and with that energy, my attention is already going. Yeah, so I'm giving this my money, I'm doing that. Yeah, the same goes with joining schools, joining courses, joining associations. We are paying money to have a coach, to be in the society, to be in the community, but this motivates us to do our own work because we give accountability. We have accountability, and we have that priority we have given. If music is something you want to progress in your life, you want to develop, I would invite you to think about the priority you have given and the priorities you have in your life. What are you giving priorities today? Because many times you will need to give less priority to something to give more priority to the music, and this is the most essential lesson of all, and many universal lesson for all of the aspects of our life. Okay, the second lesson comes down to systems. Systems are the way of operating, the way of working, the way of achieving something. I used to work in the software development company. I was a project manager. So we had a system of breaking down the whole project to certain tasks, and then system for doing the work, following the work, and delivering the work. And the sole reason why many people are not progressing with their music, are not finishing tracks, is because they don't have system, or the system they have is outdated, is flawed. So the system I have seen works wonders, system in our community, comes down to giving people the knowledge, giving people the community, and giving people the deadlines. And the deadlines are the most essential, because when you have deadline, and in our communities, deadlines are this 1 week in the whole month that you are able to submit your track for feedback, gives you the motivation to actually do the work and to submit it for the feedback session. So this system of getting knowledge, working on your music, and getting feedback is something that I've seen people flourish. Yes, 650 tracks is a lot of tunes to be finished, and people are telling me that this rhythm, this cycle works for them. They do the work, they get the feedback, they improve, they do the work, they get the feedback, they improve, they do the work, the feedback, they improve. It's the loop you are all time in. And these loops bring results. So if you don't have such a system in place, I highly encourage you and invite you to think about how you can become more systematic in your work, how you can inject system in your current routine, as it will give you many great benefits, like finishing tracks, releasing tracks, and performing at clubs and festivals. Alright, the third thing is tied down to priorities and systems, and it comes down to routines. So it's pretty straightforward. We need to work on music to be able to finish music. But whenever we talk to the people who join our communities, one of the main area of their struggle is that they don't have consistency when working with music. So they don't work on music consistently, like every day, every second day or something. So this is question to you. How often, how consistent are you with your music production routine? I've spoken to dozens of top quality, like, very really prolific producers, Luigi Tozzi, Feral, Błażej Malinowski, Michał Wolski, VTSS, Randomer, like all those big names, and they all told me that they have such strong music routine that if they don't work for a few days, they get this itch. Oh, I need to get back to studio. I need to start working on music. And this is how your music production routine should look like for you. If you can be away from the studio for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, that means that you don't have strong music production routine. If you work only 1 day a week or 1 day in 2 weeks, or just go there and then you don't go to the studio for a month, you don't have music production routine. You are not music producer. You are just, someone who does stuff randomly. And random actions don't bring consistent results. And in current state of things, you need consistent tracks. You need consistently to be working on music to be better producer, to produce better tracks. So that routine, the best way to start with incorporating music production routine is to find the time that is repeatable, that you can do it every day for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and grow gradually to maybe 1 session or 2 sessions every day. I do only 1 session per day, and I'm able to produce like 2 tracks per month, and that's okay with all the workload I had. I still have a feeling I progress. I still work on my music, and this is very, very important. And this is also important because we need routines. We as humans need routines because our mind consumes a lot of energy. So in order to save the energy, it needs those shortcuts. Yeah, I'm doing this every morning. I'm doing this in this space. Like, you eat something sweet when you drink coffee. You smoke cigarette when you drink beer. Yeah, you do certain things with certain people. We need those shortcuts. Our brain loves those shortcuts. That's why I always encourage people to have music production routine that happens every day on the same time of the day. Pro tip is, if you're struggling with this, read Atomic Habits by James Clear. Great book. It will teach you about creating routines, it will teach you about habits, it will teach you about improvements, and this is the universal skill that will yield results in many areas of your life. create music production routine. This is the backbone of your work and your development. The fourth thing will be about focus. So we can have routine, we can work in the studio, we can be in the studio, but this can sometimes not bring finished tracks or the progress or the development. And this many times comes to people not being focused on their music production, not being focused on the next thing. Yeah, they need to create, they need to perform. So they, I don't know, walk through their phone, they, I don't know, do something and then go on YouTube, talk to the people and so on. So I've seen many people not being focused. And in today's world, your attention, your focus is your superpower, your highest, the most valuable asset. So you want to put this asset into music production, because your productivity at the end of the day will be the time you spend with the music production and the attention, the level of attention, the level of focus you give. The more time and the more focus, the better the results. If you give a lot of time but not too much, a lot of focus, you will not get so many results. You can give a lot, not too many time because you are a busy person, but give a lot of focus and you will perform. And I've seen this also a lot. I've seen people running businesses, I've seen people having families, kids and so on, and still be able to bank tracks like machines, like 4-5 tracks per month, with all that, commitments they have. Why? How they are able to achieve that? They go into the studio, they go into their zone, they focus and they do their thing, and this gives them the results. So you need priorities, you need routines, you need process, you need systems, and you need focus. The fifth thing will be about process of turning your ideas or your projects into finished tracks. Why I'm saying this? I've seen a lot of people who have great compositional skills, people who know Ableton in and out, can create great sounding 8-bar loop in 30 minutes, and they spend their time in their studio, but they are still not finishing tracks. Maybe you recognize yourself in this pattern. So what's missing? In my observation, in my experience, they are missing the process, yeah? So the concrete steps they take every time to finish their track. And this is something we teach in our community, and this is something one has to develop in order to be successful producer. Because on the other hand, I have seen people who were not so talented, didn't know Ableton in and out, their loops were kind of okay, but they were able to consistently finish tracks, consistently turn ideas into finished tracks. And after some time, like a half year, these people have made such progress that they easily surpass and get ahead of those people who didn't finish tracks, but they had years of experience. So the process, knowing what steps I need to take, knowing my tools, using user libraries, having organized sample libraries, all of this jazz will greatly enhance your performance in the studio and will give you a lot of finished tracks. All right, so the sixth thing will be about consistency, will be about staying on and committing to music production. Because I had once a student who asked me a question: "Hey Michał, why my tracks are not sounding as good as the tracks I'm listening?" And I was like, "Rafał, how long have you been producing music?" And he told me 8 months. And I was like, "This is your answer." Yeah, music production is one of the hardest creative endeavors you could assign to. You have music composition, music theory, writing rhythms, writing melodies, writing bass lines, mixing, mastering, Ableton, tools, plugins, synths, and all of that jazz, acoustics, physics. There is so many things you need to get a proper understanding in order to make good music. And I've been doing this almost 10 years, and I only have like an idea, I'm getting it. I'm kind of like getting it. I'm getting better. So when you when you produce like year or two, it's totally normal to produce shitty tracks. It's totally normal to learn to just practice, 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 practice. You will get better at time. And I know what has got you into the music production is your good taste. So you know you are not quite there yet. And this is called the valley of disappointment, that we are like not there yet. But I can assure you, and all the people I've worked with that have progressed to that level, that they were happy with what they were doing, they had this consistency. They were able to go through these hard times and stay on the game, like stay on the music production game, and just enjoy the process of exploring, of learning. This is the most important bit. And this is tied to 7th lesson, which comes to like this idea of constant improvement, like being on this mastery path. And my mentor, Keith Mills, used to tell me that it's not about finished tracks, but it's about your own development. It's about your development as a music producer and about your development as a person. And I see how those two zones, I would say, those two areas come together. When you become better music producer, you write better melodies, you write better rhythms, you arrange better tracks, your sound design is better, your tracks will sound better. But when you are a better person, so you have better habits, better routines, you have better mindset, yeah, you can deal with your emotion. This is all that jazz that will give you better approach to music production. So in the end, this will enhance your results, your products as well, yeah? So focus on your growth, and the music, the tracks will be a byproduct of that, yeah? Stay on this path of mastery. It's not about results, it's not about getting somewhere, it's about constant development, constant exploring, constant checking in what's next. How can I improve? How can I be better? Treat it as you were training sports, yeah? When you train sport, I train volleyball. So we have practices, and we practice like reception. Maybe with this piece of reception, we will practice footwork, we will practice freezing, we will practice setting, we will practice passing from different positions, and so on. So those are the nuances of just one aspect of the game, which is the reception. Then there is defense, attack, setting. Then there is whole block and defense, and so on and so forth. So there is many aspects you can improve in your game to be better volleyball player. And we just don't play the tournament, or the match is not as important as the training, because our performance will be based on how much effort, how much training we put, how well we have practiced each element. And this is the same for the music production. You need to be better at constantly improve your game in terms of rhythms, melodies, sound design, arrangement, tools, mixing, and so on. Rhythm, melodies, bass lines, arrangement, tools, and so on and so forth. And you will discover all the nuances. You will get back to the basics. The basics are the most important things. That's why they are called basics. Yeah, so practice, 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 and better tracks will be the result of this. 8th lesson is about community. It's about being in a group and tapping into this wisdom that the group brings and that motivation that the group brings. So I've seen really huge development and huge improvement of people who join the community, they stick into the community, and they are taking part into the community's life. So they ask questions, they get answers, they provide answers, they take part into the challenges, they submit their tracks, they plan their work, and they give feedback, yeah? So when you tap into the community, and it doesn't have to be my community, it's just a community of people, it can be a circle of your friends, and you're sharing your ideas, and you are doing the same thing, you get the benefits of all the people that are in. You tap into their wisdom, their mistakes, their path, their knowledge. So you are buying yourself all of the time that these people spend in their development. So it's like getting a cheat codes. Yeah, you're just making leaps ahead because you are not making all of the learning yourself. You have other people, and this is true for many aspects of our lives. That's why we join clubs, we join associations, we go to schools, because we want to be with people. Because when we see others doing the stuff we want to do, we are motivated to do the things we need to do, we want to do. Yeah, so that's why those communities of music producers or any artistic, I would say, endeavors work, because they motivate people to do the thing. And I've seen the best results from the people who participate. They are not just, stand back, I'm just there, not taking part. But in order to get the most, people engage. And when you engage, you get all the benefits of that community. All right, so the ninth lesson is about motivation and inspiration. So I already talked about this thing of getting motivation from the people, but there is also a motivation for doing your thing every day. And I talked earlier about routines. I believe that when you have strong music production routine, it's like you won't need to have motivation to make music, because the routine of brushing teeth or drinking coffee, I don't have to be motivated to brush my teeth. It's automatic, yeah? So when you have routine, your motivation will become automatic. Different thing is with inspiration, yeah? One time there will be an inspiration and you will create things, you will have ideas and things will just flow. Other times you will not have this inspiration, things will not flow, and you will have an idea or have a feeling that you are stuck. And you need all two of those moments, because when things flow, it's great. It's because all of the time you put into and all of the effort you had so far, and you can just ride on that wave. Yeah, so you create track effortlessly. The second side of the coin is that you don't learn that much during that time. But in the times of the struggle, in the times when things are not going great, you will learn a lot. You will learn what's working, what's not working, how you can improve. So you need those two times. And the third aspect of inspiration I wanted to tell you about comes from my own experience, that sometimes I have felt inspired to create an EP or create an album or something. And there were moments I jumped on that wave and created that EP specific, and it was great. But there were times I did not jump on that wave. So I had this wave of creating an album, inspiration for an album last autumn, but I didn't jump on that wave. And now I don't feel that inspired to create an album. So that waves of inspirations, they will come and go. And with your routine, with your process, with your system of working with music, you will just be able to catch this wave and use it to your own advantage. And the more you do it, the more you work with music, the more consistent you are, the more inspiration, the more ideas will flow your way. So again, I'm saying this for you to just maybe shift your mindset that inspirations is something you invite in rather than you wait for. And the 10th lesson is more philosophical. It's about our happiness, it's about our fulfillment, it's about our realizing our potential. Over 12 to 13 years I've been into this scene. I have seen people being on two sides of the fence. One side of the fence is people who just like the music. They like the environment, they like to dance to the music. These are the DJs who don't produce. And there is second side of the fence, smaller side, people who have the itch to create something on their own, to create their own music. And I have seen the people who did not do anything with it being frustrated, being sad, being angry, because there was a part, and there is a part of them that they are not giving the space for. So I believe if you have this part in you, if there is something that wants to express through you, through music, it's your responsibility as a person, as a human being, to give this side a space. Because when you don't do it, this will create emotions, this will create tension of frustration, sadness, anger, and maybe depression, because you are not giving yourself the space to express yourself. So that's why I'm seeing so many people like around the age of 40 coming back to music production, because right now they have resources, they have time to give the space and time to music production. But if you have this space right now in your 20s or 30s, that's great. If you are going to do it, this will greatly enhance your life in terms of like your satisfaction from life, because you will do what is inside, what asks for you to be done. Like, you will give yourself a space to be expressed, and this is super important, and in my opinion, like, can benefit your overall happiness. So that's it, brother and sister. 10 music production lessons that will make you a better music producer. I know all of this, it's easier said than done, and it's about mindset, it's about introducing that change in our life. And as I've said, all of those changes, all of this is easier when you have people around you, when you have mentors, someone who will guide you. So we work with music production communities. It's been more than 3 years I've been doing that. Hypnotic Techno community has been on the market for a year and a half. We have almost 30 people inside the community. We have feedback sessions, we have knowledge, and so on. We are developing it. So if you want to join us, if you want to make leaps in your music production career, if you want this to give this priority and focus, join us. We are opening our community 4 times in a year. So if you are not in the moment of recruitation, just leave your email. We will message you when the time is right, when we will open our community, and I'm sure we can help you a lot in your music production career. But for now, this is it. I hope this was valuable for you, and it will help you in your music production development, in your music production career. Till the next time, bye.